ハンターさん、新たなモンスターの目撃。何でも閃光を放ち毒液をまき散らすのだとか。ギルドの調査記録通りなら馴染みの種類ですが、この地域では荒廃した時期によく見られるそうです。調査してみてはいかがでしょうか。ハンターさん、ギルド本任務はクエスト発行されています。私か、あるいはどうか準備は念入りに。
Let the top fire me.
ハ
ぐに戻ってるね。
向こうを見に行ってみよう。ここなら簡易キャンプが建てられそうだ。
Okay, so we are trying Monster in the Wilds beta with the 5090 today, and as you've seen, maybe you've noticed just now in town it was like the same FPS, and now in the desert it's still the same FPS. So I'm just trying to like toggle it on and off again. I'm not sure if it's because of the FPS counter's problem, but I can see, for example, the frame time counter is moving, but not the FPS counter. So it seems to be stuck at 58. But anyway, I think from my testing just now, I think in time it was really bad. It's much worse than the benchmark. Using the benchmark, I was able to hit around 70 something FPS in town with DLSS and frame gain off. But now, in the actual game in the beta, it seems that I can only hit around 60. So I'm going to try to, yeah, maybe it's a problem with the DLAA. So I'll turn on DLSS quality and frame jam. So okay, you see the FPS spikes up. Was that someone's laid it already? Okay, I forgot that I just joined this quest. Yeah, anyway, we'll try again, see what happens in town. Okay, I have DLSS quality and frame jam on this time. Full ray tracing, by the way. So, if you guys want to compare, maybe you can try the same settings. Basically, just 4K, Ultra, everything maxed out. And then you also turn ray tracing to high, which is the maximum setting. Okay. Yeah, free loots for me, thank you. Okay, in this manual screen, I don't know why it drops to like 94% FPS. Maybe I'll turn the volume a little bit down because I think I'm not on headphone right now, so I should switch on my headphone before I continue the stream, otherwise there will be echo throughout the stream. 1 second. Speakers, yes. Okay. So we have around 130 to 140 FPS right now, which is not too bad considering I was getting around I think 150 something in the benchmark in town. Well, I mean on average. Okay, now when I'm moving towards the crowd, it drops to around 100, which is I think still acceptable. But it means with the best consumer graphics card and CPU that you can buy at the moment, you have to turn on frame rate in town to get this kind of FPS. So it's really a little bit daunting. And I also tried it on my PS5 Pro just now. I think as far as the console is concerned, I think it's acceptable, but I just don't know. I mean, even that, I mean, to me, it's a little bit too laggy, maybe. If you do it on a base PS5, I think it could be rough. Okay, we will try another quest and see what happens to the frame rate, because it was stuck at 58 all the time just now when we tried to do a quest to find the girl. Okay, so the real FPS I think shows up now. It's around 120 to 130 FPS, which is still acceptable. So I'm playing actually on a monitor that's not like super high end. I'm playing on an LG 48-inch C1, which has a maximum refresh rate of 120 Hz, I believe. I use a 48-inch TV as a monitor for around 3 years now. I think just for the immersiveness, it can't beat it. And the living room, I'm using an 83-inch C4, also for the immersiveness. So many people say that 4K doesn't matter. I think it really depends on the size of the screen that you're using. If you're using a 27-inch screen, for example, monitor, I think 24-inch, 27-inch 4K, and a 27-inch 1440p monitor wouldn't make as much difference as like on a 48-inch screen. I know that there aren't any 48-inch 1440p monitor that exists, but just to demonstrate, I mean, how the screen size may make the resolution upgrade more important. Okay, let's go to wherever these guys are. So I'm getting around 24.3 millisecond of latency with frame gen on. I think the 8.9 it's the input latency, right? So in total it's around 30. I think 30 is acceptable for this kind of games. So even with frame gen 2x, I think it's okay. I'm not sure if eventually they'll add some kind of like it's done already. So I think around 120 FPS, not locked. Or may go a little bit under, especially in the car. With the full team here, I think it's acceptable. Why are these people not fighting? Okay. Oh, it's strange. In the menu, the FPS goes down. Go back to town. 9398. Okay, when the system is still loading all the NPI and all the other characters, I think it gets really bad. And so I'm going to turn on VRR on my TV. Right, I would say not too shabby with this kind of like number of people. Just even in Dragon's Dogma 2, although the town can get really bad, I can probably maintain around over 150 FPS with frame gen and DLSS quality. But here in this game, I mean, and what I've just said is with the 4090, which I previously owned, and now we are talking about 5090 with lower FPS in town. Of course, they are different games, but they use the same engine. And of course, Dragon's Dogma 2 is pretty much a single-player game. So I mean, many people were complaining about like why Dragon's Dogma 2 cannot be a multiplayer game. I think that's part of the reason why. Imagine this game, I mean, Monster Hunter was coming out 1 year ago. How bad would it look, even on the 4090? Probably if I judge from the current FPS, especially with frame gen turned off and DLSS also turned off, so we're getting around 56 to 58 FPS, right? So I think on 4090 it will be around 50. I mean low 50s. So if people see that with the 4090 you turn off DLSS, turn off frame gen, you can only get around 50 FPS. You can only imagine now what people will say about that game if it was in multiplayer. At least now I think with the latest graphics card, you can get around those 260 native 4K. I think at least that give them plausible deniability to say we can at least hit 60 on one of the consumer cards on one of these systems. Because even if the stronger system cannot hit 60, then they have a problem. They have a hard time explaining to the gamers. Okay, we got this dude here. So we're going to... Ooh. And let's try turning on DLAA, which is worse. Okay, upscaling, we turn to DLSS, but instead of DLSS quality, we use NVIDIA DLAA, which means it's worse than native, because in addition to the native resolution, it has to do DLAA. But the FPS seems stuck at 58. So it's quite strange. Because in the benchmark, there's a 5 FPS difference between DLAA and native. Well, let's just like run around and see if the FPS will dip even more. But I think it's quite reasonable that you have the worst frame rate in town, which is around mid to high 50s. I don't think it improves a lot in the wilderness either. Let's try again. Oh, that was a really bad dip right there. When I turn the camera around, I'm not sure if it's because of the shader compilation, because when I was doing the benchmark, there was a good amount of time spent on shader compilation. But when I started the beta just now, it just started right away. And I did delete the beta before this time round, meaning I deleted the game after the first beta. I don't know. And we'll be completely honest, I don't think the game looks good, even with the RE engine and whatnot. And compared with some of the UE5 games that I've played, I know this is not UE5, but compared with UE5 games at similar settings at 4K, I don't think this game should perform that bad. Even though we know that the RE engine is pretty much CPU bound. I don't understand why this can perform that bad in such in the graphics that doesn't look exactly very impressive. Maybe that's the weather that we're having now. We're having this I don't know, windstorm. When we go further down, the FPS doesn't seem to change. It seems just slow at 58 for some reason. Okay, we go back to turning off DLAA, go back to DLSS quality. Let's go back to native actually. So it's native, no DLAA, no DLSS, no frame jam. Yeah. And of course the RT is set high. Oh, I think the FPS counter is cooked. Why can it remain at 50? Oh, it moves. I think it went up to 59 for a second. But otherwise, I think there's no difference. It's weird. Did I set something? Did I set the... We just look at the NVIDIA control panel for 1 second. See if I set anything still within the global settings. I limit the frame rate or anything. Choosing max frame rate off. Yeah, I think we're good. Extra filtering. There's something here. Okay, back into the game, still 58 FPS. I'll try to set it back to frame jam. Where's frame jam? DLSS. Let's try DLSS, DLAA, and frame jam. I think this will look best, right? Not in terms of the lagginess, but I think in terms of the picture quality. So this is DLAA. Yeah, I think it does look a little bit sharper. Much sharper actually on my 4K TV. I think this is the best setting so far. With good frame rates and frame gen of course. But yeah, it's much sharper than DLSS quality. So I think I will just do this for now. If you're looking on the phone, I mean, even if you set your phone to your YouTube to 4K resolution, I don't think that makes any difference. But on the 48-inch OLED monitor or TV at monitor distance, there's a big difference between DLAA and DLSS quality.
私も素材を集めました。一時保管ポーチのご確認を。
I think the difference is even more pronounced than when I'm playing in my living room on the 83-inch. Because you sit at a distance to the TV, right? But if you use this as a monitor, it's a real big screen like filling your whole eyesight. So the optimal kind of like distance in terms of immersiveness is, I mean, in my opinion, and in a lot of movie enthusiasts' opinion, is if you don't have to move your head around, meaning you don't have to like turn your head in order to look at the leftmost or rightmost edge of the screen. That's the optimal distance for immersiveness. Some people may think that's too big. I can understand, but I think for moviegoers, or if you have ever set up a proper like home theater, like a projector screen, I think you will get advice from the designer that the best distance or the best size of your screen, they're talking about like 140, 150 plus inches screen for projectors, of course, is when you are at your seat, you don't have to move your head around to see the edge of the screen. So with the much smaller screen here, which is 48-inch, you have to sit really close to the screen, to the monitor, in order to achieve the same thing. So I'm just fooling around here, but let's see what happens when we are on the chocobo. It's not the chocobo, but I think yeah, you see a dip there as well. I think it just dipped down from around 70 something FPS to around, from 100 something FPS to around 70. So it also so the 1% low doesn't change for frame gen. It's very important to remember. So if you are upscaling from, or you are generating frames from, for example, 40 FPS to 80 FPS, the 1% low will still be the same, meaning that you will get dips to below 40 FPS. So for example, when I was turning everything off, no DLSS and no frame gen, I was around around 50 to 60 FPS, right? So that means my 1% low will be based on my base FPS rather than the frame gen FPS. So if your 1% low is already bad, turning on frame gen doesn't improve that. It's one important thing to remind us. So if you want to turn on frame gen, better use something, use a resolution on the DLSS that's acceptable to you. For me, I think DLAA around 57 to around 60, and then upscaling it to around 100 to 120 is acceptable. Really depends on your system, right? if, for example, if I use DLSS quality here, then I think I can get better FPS, and the 1% will be much better. Except I think shader compilation stuttering, which I'm still not sure whether the status is because of that. So I'm up to around 130 FPS now, 140. Okay, it fluctuates a lot, so it's from 120 to 140 something. With quality, DLSS quality and frame generation. Okay, so I think I've just tested up to here so far. I think there was just a frame times spike. Yeah, I saw the frame time spike. Then I was approaching the edge of the map. Yeah. I just don't know, I mean, this just doesn't look that good. It's a game. I can't. I think DLSS quality. I can't even accept DLSS quality in this game. I think native is the worst I can accept on 4K. I cannot accept DLSS quality even. For some games, especially when I was playing on my TV, my living room TV, this is much further away. I think I can do DLSS quality. Meaning that when I'm playing in the living room on my laptop, which is a 4090 laptop, I naturally have to turn on DLSS frame gen, I mean DLSS 3 and probably DLSS quality. I hope I can do that and get decent FPS. But yeah. So you're now seeing where I have a frame gen on with around 80 something FPS. Am I doing this right? Oh, it's not DLSS quality, it's frame gen. It's DLAA and frame gen. But it does feel a little bit laggy on this setting. Okay, so for optimization, I don't know. But I could only imagine if you were playing this game in 4K on anything less than the 4090. Which includes the 5080, right? Because 5080 is lower than 4090 from the reviews that we've seen. But I think it's, if you're playing at 1440p, the 5090, 4090, even 4080 Super will be good enough. For 1440p, 4K I really don't know. Since it seems even my 5090 is struggling right now. At native resolution without DLSS and without frame gen. Or with frame gen or with DLAA, which is my current setting. But the screen at least look nice now. Okay, enough of the baffling. So I'll just go back to time per episode. Yeah. Save and return. So that's it for the initial benchmark. I'll try some more maps tomorrow, see how the system performs in fights, and then I'll come back to another live stream on the beta, knowing which spots or which quests that I should go to. So far, I don't think it looks that good in town, and even in the wilderness, if I turn off the DLSS, or if I turn on the DLAA. Also, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you can come back to this stream tomorrow and when the game actually launches. See you guys, bye bye.